Good morning, namaste. Welcome to this 9 a.m. online streaming from Yoga Salt in Los Angeles, California. We are going to do a signature flow today. So I invite you to come to your yoga mat when you are ready. And we are going to start in a seated position. Please elevate yourself if you need that in order to find elongation in your spine. Find a comfortable place for your hands, whether the hands are palms up or down. Some of you may feel more comfortable with the hands in your lap. Relaxing your shoulders, unclenching the jaw, and when you feel ready, close your eyes. The next few moments, breathe and connect to your body. Starting this practice off, please think of 5 things that you are grateful for. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at the heart center, thumbs resting just at the base of the sternum bone. Wrap the elbows around the sides of your rib cage. Relaxing the shoulders. Bringing yourself into a space of connection. Bowing your forehead towards your fingertips in honor and gratitude for this opportunity. Yoga is a privilege. Lifting your head, open your eyes, release your hands, and we're going to start when you're ready in child's pose. I recommend bringing the feet together and if possible, the knees no wider than the hips apart. You can take the hands either forward or back, so be intuitive with the position here for the first few moments. Breathe. Breathe in a way that creates space. Breathe in a way that deepens your connection, your level of sensitivity to your own being. Allow the weight of your hips to release down towards the heels. And as you inhale, try to be sensitive enough to feel even the sacrum, the bones, slightly widening as you breathe in, creating space, grounding. And now from the roots of your hips releasing downwards, take your arms forward. And you can lift your head to gaze forward at your hands and make sure that your hand position is giving you balance right to left. So maybe one arm reaches further forward than the other, and here you can make that adjustment. The 2 hands pressing evenly down. And use those 2 hands now to help move energy further back, the hips away from the shoulders. beginning to increase the level of space and stretch through the lumbar, sacrum, and pelvis. Of course, try to do all of this while breathing natural, deep breaths. And with your next inhale, you're going to lift your hips away from the heels. Separate your knees and feet a little bit, tucking the toes under. Lift the forearms, triceps firm, and you're going to head into your first Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Almost everybody is really benefited by a little bend in the knees, your first dog. And you can explore just taking one leg straight. Give yourself an opportunity to spread the toes of the straight leg. And then you can change when you feel ready, giving your body that same level of connection, mind, breath, body together. And try to take it a few times side to side, just walking out the dog and giving that more distal part of your body your attention. Continue breathing. And when you're ready, you can lift both heels. So this would be a releve position. And use this lift of the heels way up to start to lift the sitting bones up. As much as you can, tethering the sitting bones to the ceiling, begin to allow the heels to release down, but without dropping the height of the hips. So you move in two directions. As the heels stretch back away from the toes, they may not necessarily come down. Without forcing the heels down, stretch back, and now lift your head way up, a little bit higher if you can, and come into plank position, okay? Without letting the heels go forward. Yeah, so always finding the two directions. Crown of the head moves forward, heels equally back. With your next inhale, lift the base ribs, the kidney ribs, a little higher. Keep that as you move to downward dog. Exhalation all the way as you stretch the heels back. Tethering the heels back. Again, lift your head, shift forward, come into plank. Pause here as you exhale. Feel the front ribs collect energy around the front body. Get a little more lift in the kidney ribs on the inhale. Downward facing dog, elbows remain straight as you exhale. Last time, heels back, crown of the head forward, look up and shift into plank. Corseting the front body around to support the back body. The back body is creating a little bit more lift and space. Last inhale here. Downward facing dog, pressing two hands, reaching the hips back. And now you're going to travel with your hands towards your feet. Little bend in the knees is very acceptable behavior, and you can separate the feet a little larger than your hips. Take the hands behind your back, cross the fingers, or if you're at home, you can use a belt or a kitchen towel. Take the shoulders up towards the ceiling, and then as you exhale, reach the arms overhead. Take a few moments to connect down in the four corners of the feet, inside edges of your heels down, equal to the baby toe knuckle. Outside edges of your heels down, equal to the big toe knuckle. So you have an X of energy running through your foot. The center of the X is the Pada Bandha. It's the fulcrum that you bring the hips above. Last two breaths. You're going to release the fingertips down. Ardha Uttanasana here, elongating through the entire spine. Descend to Uttanasana as you exhale. Ardha Uttanasana again, lifting, lengthening the belly forward. Exhale, descend, full Uttanasana. Again, release the hands behind your back, change the cross of the fingers. Lift the shoulders first up and then stretch the arms overhead. So we're bringing the hips gradually forward until they reside over the center of the foot, which is really the front of your heel. front of the ankle. The more the hips resist forward, the spine will continue to drop down, crown of the head to the big toes. Last 2 breaths. Ardha Uttanasana, release the fingertips down, come halfway up, find that full elongated position. Exhale all the breath out, Uttanasana, crown of the head down. Again, halfway up, inhale Ardha. Exhale all the breath out, release the crown of the head down. Reach the heels back, spread your toes forward, inhale Ardha Uttanasana, and don't let the legs or hips come forward as you walk your hands back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So the hips are resisting as if they're still in Uttanasana. And the elongation is happening there in the sides of the waist, the outer shoulders, the outer arms. Inhale as you find plank position. Now Chris is going to show the modification, which would be to bring the knees down onto the ground. Okay, nothing else, as you can see, changed. He remained at an inclined position. Now if you're able to do it with the legs straight, you're very welcome to straighten the legs, and Chris will show that. Okay, separate your feet a little wider, Chris. That's it. And now with the utmost control, lower all the way down through chaturanga or modified chaturanga, and you're going to come down onto the yoga mat, releasing your body. Now, point the toes back, lift one leg, and move that leg, even if it's just energetically, a few millimeters further. And now change legs, so we're just giving the body a little bit more space on the earth. Keep both feet down, and now you're coming into Cobra Bhujangasana. Ears back with the shoulders, there you go. And the sacrum, which is at the top of the pelvis, is releasing away from the lumbar. You will feel the weight slightly move towards the pubic bone. Last 2, ears back with your shoulders, there you go. Last breath in, elbows point directly back. Keep the shoulders lifted, forehead to the mat as you exhale. Separating the feet, curling the toes under. Again, the modification would be to have the knees on the ground. So Chris, show that with the toes tucked. Okay. Now he's going to show with the legs straight. So I want you to decide for your best benefit to come up into plank whether or not you need to use the knees down. So on an inhale, lift the front carriage of the body, come all the way up plank. Lift the knees if they were down, and exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. Inhale, you're going to lift your gaze way up, higher than you think. Lift those inner shoulders and step one foot between your hands and then the other. This time, feet together or apart. Elongate Ardha Uttanasana. That's the inhale position. Exhale, descend Uttanasana. Crown of the head releases down. Open the arms. Inhale, reach up. Urdhva Hasta. Samastitihi Tadasana as you exhale. So Surya Namaskara. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, Uttanasana, hands to the earth. Bend the knees if necessary. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. So Chris is going to show how to step back. He's bending his knees first. Hands are placed with the shoulders. One leg goes back. He lifts the inner shoulders. The other leg goes back. Okay, and from here, you're just going to go to downward dog, 1 exhalation. Again, lift your head, inhale, come into plank. Please feel free to use the knees. Exhale, lower, and try to hover chaturanga at the height of the elbows. Come all the way down to the ground. So now we're going to do pointing the toes into cobra. Some of you are going to continue into upward facing dog. That's an inhale position. So Chris, from cobra, come all the way if you can, straight arms, upward facing dog. Now he's going to show the modification. Bring the knees down. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Move back through your hips. Okay, another option would be inhale, lift your head, come into plank. Exhale, hover chaturanga, stay. Now release the toes back at the same time, not one at a time. Yes, upward facing dog, good job. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your head way up, look forward. Step with your other foot to the front of the mat so we even it out. Both feet forward, Ardha Uttanasana length. Exhale, Uttanasana, head down. Inhale, both arms all the way up. Lift the side, back, ribs higher. Samastitihi Tadasana, exhale. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, both hands down, relax your neck. Inhale, look up, half lift. Now he's gonna demo jumping back, hands flat. Keep the shoulders lifted and you march or jump your feet to Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, bent knees or straight legs, downward facing dog. Okay? And you're gonna take a few breaths here. So separate the feet a little larger than the hips. With each inhale, you're creating 2 directions. The hips back, crown of the head towards the hands. 2. Breathing. 3. Push the inside of your hands a little bit more. There you go. 4. Good job. 5. Lift your head way up. Now bend the knees deep. March or jump your feet forward as you inhale. Exhale all the way into Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up. Hands overhead, Urdhva Hasta. Samastitihi, exhale. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, 2 hands flat on the earth. Bend the knees if you need to. Head up, inhale. March or jump back as you exhale, lower. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Breathe. Separate the feet a little larger than the hips. You may need to adjust your hand position. So sometimes you look up and you see one arm reaches forward of the other. Yeah, so just keep these details in the back of your mind as you breathe for 3. Sacrum climbing up out of the lumbar. 2. 1, head way up, bend the knees, march or jump, feet to hands. That's an inhale. Exhale, crown of the head straight down. Both arms up. Inhale, all the way, sides of the waist tall. Exhale, Samastitihi. Last one. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold all the way. Hands flat, look up. Inhale, bend the knees if necessary. Jump, exhale, or step. Inhale all the way, back bend shape. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Okay. Organize your breath, organize your body. 2. 3, whenever it's necessary, you take a child's pose. There's no reason to push past your limits. Listen to your body. Last breath in. Exhale, fully lift your head, bend your knees. As you inhale, march or float, feet to hands. Exhale, full Uttanasana. Urdhva Hasta, both hands all the way up, look up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, both arms up and hold. Okay, and you're going to want to take your gaze forward for balance. Now you're going to lift your heels way up so you're in a high releve position, way, way up. Yeah, there you go. Now take an inhale, stay with the heels up and begin to sit back into Utkatasana chair pose. So move the upper hips back and down. There you go. Breathing here for 3. Yes. Press the inner feet. 2. Do your best to stand up with your heels lifted all the way, reach up. Keep reaching up as your heels ground down to the mat and arms at your sides. Exhale, Samastitihi. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, arms and heels up. Exhale, bend the knees and sit, hold in chair position. Breathe here for 3. Open the back of your ribs as you breathe. Close the front. 2. Keeping the heels lifted, straight legs. Inhale, the heels stretch down as the arms go up. And once the heels touch, arms release, Samastitihi. Now, chair pose will seem very easy. Keeping the heels down, bend the knees, lift the arms, same breath. Inhale. Hands down, exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, look up. Now stay here and just bending only the right leg, take the left leg like warrior 3 behind you. Now I want the front leg to do a very sincere chair pose. So get the hips all the way down to the height of the right knee if possible, without lowering the left leg. So the left leg has to go up and the right hip has to go down for 3. Ears up a little higher. 2, step way back with that left foot. Now bring your hands under your shoulders. Don't lift your hips at all. Keep your hips this low. Now find plank as you inhale. Chaturanga or to the floor, exhale. Cobra or upward dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. For a moment, lift the right leg way up. Exhale, lift your head, bring the knee to the chest, shoulders above the wrists. Again, leg up, 3-legged dog, inhale. Lift your head up, knee to chest, exhale, shoulders above wrists. One more time, inhale, stretch. Head up, exhale, knee to chest, and hold. So curl the hips underneath you. Don't let your head drop, head up. 2, one more. Step the right foot forward, turn your left heel flat. Okay, you can be a little wider than heel to heel. Heel to heel for a lot of us is very difficult, so find your place. Dropping that right hip down, keeping the left knee straight. One option, and Chris is going to show first, the arms can go back by your hips and you stay low with your torso. More difficult, take the arms beside your ears and extend, palms facing towards each other. And we're going to be here for 5. Breathe into your back rib cage. Belly contained. 3, good. 2, one more, stretch. And fingertips to the ground as you exhale. Turn onto your left toes. Step to the front as you inhale. Both legs straight if you can. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, descend on Uttanasana. Chair pose. Utthakatasana, sit down. Stand up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Same thing, second side. Bend the knees, arms up. Chair pose. Inhale. Hands down. Exhale, Uttanasana. Half lift. Inhale. Now, bend your left knee, right leg parallel, so it's a warrior 3 in the right side, chair pose in the left side. Now observe, how challenging is it to get the left hip all the way parallel to the ground, keeping the right leg up as high as the hip for 3. Ears in line with shoulders, there you go, 2. Elongate back as you step into the lunge position, very good. Bring your hands flat. Meditate on not letting your hips lift at all. Keep your hips exactly as they are and sneak the left foot back. Take your inhale here. Chaturanga, exhale, or a modification. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. The left leg will lift on an inhalation, 3-legged dog. Look up, exhale, knee to chest, shoulders above wrist. 2 more, inhale, stretch. Head up, exhale, knee, chest. Last time. Inhale, stretch. Head up, exhale, knee, chest, hold here. Curl the pelvis underneath you, ears up, and step the foot between your hands. Okay, back heel, either heel to heel at 45 or a little wider. Okay, getting that left hip all the way down parallel to the ground, right leg straight. You choose, arms back, show that, Chris. Or arms in front. 5 breaths here. So keep your neck open and relaxed as you breathe for 3. No tightness in the shoulders, just stretch. 2. Get a little longer from that back heel. Very nice. Hands, fingertips down onto the ground. Come onto your right toes, step forward. Inhale, full elongation. Exhale, head down. Chair, deep chair pose, hips back and down. Stand, Tadasana, exhalation, arms release. And now release your arms at your side and close your eyes. Breathe. Feel what you've done in your body so far. Release the inner heels straight down. And make the inside part of your legs taller. Ears in line with your shoulders. Crown of the head lifting up. Last 2. Breathe. Allow your eyes to open, keeping the gaze peripheral and soft. Chair pose, sit down, arms up, inhale. Uttanasana, exhale. Ardha halfway, inhale. Either jump or march as you exhale, transition vinyasa. Cobra or up dog is always the inhalation, and exhale, downward dog. Just taking one breath with the right leg up, inhale. Exhale, place the foot between your hands, turn the left foot flat. Now bringing the arms and spine vertical, Virabhadrasana A, inhale. Exhale, hands down flat. Make your way into plank position. Now you can always go directly to down dog, show that, Chris, so that modification. Okay, or come back into plank, stay in plank, and vinyasa, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, urdhva mukha, exhale, adho mukha. One breath, lifting the left leg, inhale. Exhale, place the foot forward, right heel connects to the mat. Both arms up, inhale all the way. When you're ready, exhale, either plank to down dog or chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva or cobra. Exhale, adho mukha. Take your time and breathe here, recovery breaths. 1. You can open your feet a little wider. Yeah, give it at least hip distance. 2, 3, opening the side lateral ribs as you inhale. 4, lift your gaze way up, ears higher than shoulders, bend the knees, march or jump as you are ready. Deep dive, exhale, Uttanasana. Chair pose, sit deep as you reach up. Tadasana, exhale, Samastitihi. One more time. Utkatasana, chair, inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Ardha, inhale. Either you float, march, or jump. Chaturanga, exhale. Cobra or inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Right foot forward, left heel flat. Inhale, come all the way up, Virabhadrasana. Exhale, hands down, and make your transition vinyasa with your breath. When you're ready, directly from exhale, the left foot steps, the right heel turns. Virabhadrasana, ah. Exhale, hands down, either direct down dog or chaturanga. Inhale, keeping the breath smooth. Exhale, Adho Mukha. So anytime you need to, Chris, show child's pose. You can come into this position and take a breath or two to calibrate, to feel, to gain the sensitivity that really is the connection of yoga. Okay, and then you just come back into down dog and join us whenever you feel you're ready. Okay, lift your head way up, bend the knees, and on an inhale, travel, step or jump. Exhale, deep Uttanasana. Utkatasana, chair pose, sit low. And Samastitihi, exhale, release your arms down. Okay, close your eyes. You can bring the hands by your body. Feel what's happening in the asanas, in the breathing. Feel your body. Most importantly, once the breath has slowed down, evened out, bring your hands to your hips. And you're going to either jump or step your feet a little larger than your hip distance apart. No, just wider than your hips. Yeah, there you go, like that. So, you're going to keep the feeling on the inner edges of the feet, so you don't roll to the outer edges of the feet, but the inside edges of your feet are connected to the mat. You're going to stretch up with the sides of the body, elbows release straight back, ears back with shoulders. Get a lot of inhale going through the body. And whenever you're ready on an exhale, fold all the way down. Padangushtasana. Hook the big toes with your first 2 fingers and your thumb. Bend the knees if necessary. Again, halfway up. Inhale. Get an elongated stretch in the spine. And exhale, descend down. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. So my recommendation is to have the rib cage touching the thighs. If it's not touching the thighs, it means you need to bend your knees in order to achieve that. Otherwise, you're not giving the spine space. Okay, so you'll be subtracting space. Last 2. Slightly the inner shoulder blades lift away from the neck. That's it. On your next inhale, look up, halfway, Ardha position. Padahastasana. Slide the hands. If you can, toes touch wrists. Again, bend the knees if you need to. Look up, elongate to the maximum. Exhale, straight down, ribs, belly on thighs. Some of you might be lucky enough to do that with your legs straight. So please practice being present with your body for 3. 2. 1. Lifting halfway up, inhale. Now replace your hands on your hips. The elbows are going to point directly up to the ceiling. And you're going to stand with your next breath in. Press the earth as you come up. And release your arms down at your side. Okay. When you're ready, you're going to bring your left knee towards your chest, using both hands to keep the knee in. So do your best to relax those 2 shoulders. Yeah. And the origin of the movement is your pelvis. So from the left sacrum, which is the top of the pelvis, the leg starts to move around. The pelvis is curling, and the antagonist is that right leg pushing back. So the leg will not buckle forward ideally. Now, hands to your hips like we did before, elbows pointing straight back. And you're going to start to bend now your right leg into a chair position. Bring your torso all the way down parallel to the floor. And you're going to extend your left leg back into a bent-kneed Viratri. So the right knee is going to stay bent, and you're going to deliberately straighten and reach back through that left heel. Now, I would recommend bringing the hips all the way down, Chris, if you can, all the way to the height of the knee, without dropping the ears, without dropping the elbows, without dropping the back leg. Keep it up for 3. Good. 2. Bring the left knee back to the chest. Come up to standing. Take a moment, inhale, and Tadasana, exhale. Very good. Okay, that's not so easy. Bring your right knee to your chest. Take a moment. So the origin, the very beginning of the movement starts at the sacrum. The sacrum releases, yes. The left leg is the antagonist. It doesn't buckle forwards against the movement of the pelvis under. So in the right side, you're doing Bakhasana, and in the left side, you're doing Tadasana. Hands to your hips, elbows point straight back. Beginning with this feeling of the knee going up, as you bend the left knee, your hips are sliding down an imaginary wall. When you feel the balance is prime, bring your torso forward and begin to extend. So only the right leg is going to straighten. The left knee is going to remain quite bent. Elbows a little higher, ears a little higher, yeah, in line with the shoulders. Hips, if you can, all the way down. There you go. Back leg lifts as the hips go down for 3. You're doing great. Elbows a little closer together. 2. Right knee to chest, and very slowly, keeping your balance, come upright. Knee comes up like a Bakhasana, Ekapada Bakhasana sensation. Tadasana as you exhale. Very good. Samastiti. So balance brings you into a concentrated state. Being present. Now feel what it's like to be in your body, to be sensitive. You can keep your feet apart or bring your feet together. I leave that always up to you. Both are right. Okay. And now with the legs straight, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, both arms circle up overhead. Look up if you can. Uttanasana, exhale all the breath out as you descend. Ardha, halfway, inhale. Any transition as you exhale, march, float, jump. Cobra or up dog is the inhalation. Downward facing dog on the exhalation. Inhale the right leg all the way up. Now we're going to stretch the hip after that little warrior three. So he's going to open the hips. If he can, he's going to stack the right hip above the left. Okay, good. Nice adjustment. And then bend the knee of the right leg. Very good. 2 more. Now lift your gaze way up. Good. You're going to bring that right knee across to the left tricep and shift the shoulders above the wrists. Go back to that same stretch. So 3-legged dog, open hip, bent knee position. You can bend the knee. Look up. And on the exhale, cross the right knee to the left tricep, shoulders above the wrists. Go back to where you started. Open, bend, and stretch. And last time, exhale, bring the knee all the way across. Good. Now, keep the ears lifted up. Extend now your right leg out towards the left. There you go. You can let the heel come onto the ground. Good. Keep your inner shoulders, head lifted. That's it. Hips low. Left heel back a little more. So stretch in 2 directions. Now, everybody has the option to stay here. Some of you may want to do a little increased twist. So it's going to feel like an intense version of Parivrita Trikonasana. So if you want to, on the exhale, bend your elbows into a push-up position, Chaturanga. And you'll come back to plank on the inhale. Very good. Now turn the left heel flat, just like you did in Warrior One. Lift your left arm up. Okay, we're doing a little variation on Vashisthasana here. Okay, so open up between the inner shoulders. Head back a little more, Chris, so it's in line with your hips. And I want you to feel that the origin of the movement of the right leg moving towards the left side of your mat happens at the sacrum. So we get that lower belly to engage. Last 3. Last 2. Do you have a little wrist thing? Yeah. And as you exhale, release both hands down. Turn onto your back toes. Okay, and you're going to bring the right knee to the chest and all the way up. 3-legged dog stretch. Inhale. Look up. Exhale, right foot between your hands. Now we're going to lower the back knee down. Extra padding under the knee is always available, so take it if you need it. Okay, point your toes. So, Chris, if you need to, you can use blocks under your fingertips or books at home. Okay, or, you can do the fingertips or hands flat, depending upon, but let's show with blocks. Okay. So it will be easier with books or blocks, or especially on fingertips. Okay, so what Chris is going to do is he's going to let his pelvis come forward towards the blocks, and his head's going to kind of do a cow stretch. Now on the exhalation, he's going to move his hips back, his head down, and his chest towards his thigh, and he can flex the front toes off the ground if he wants to. So it's sort of an Ardha Uttanasana or Ardha Hanumanasana. Now, as he lifts his head, he's going to bend the front knee and come back into that original lunge shape. As he exhales, he's going to move the hips back 2 more times. Inhale, head up, hips forward. Exhale, hips back, head down. Last time, inhale. And now he's going to come back into Ardha Hanuman, and he's going to hold as he exhales. So he can walk the block. Do your best not to drop the head first. So what folds first is this. Remember, the belly, the ribs to the thighs. You can bend the elbows. Yeah, just don't drop the head. It's not a banana shape. That's it. Last 3. Elongate. 2. 1. Straight arms back to the lunge. You can walk the blocks forward, but you can set the blocks off to the side. Bring the hands down flat onto the ground. Okay, and now you're going to step into tabletop. So you're just going to bring your right knee to join your left knee. Okay, you can separate the knees a little bit out, feet a little bit out. Okay, now do cow pose. So inhale, arch your back, look up. Bending the elbows into Ashtangasana, knees, chest, and chin as you exhale. So keep your chin up and lower your chest between your hands, chin to the floor. Good. Now you're going to come down for cobra. Point your toes, release your hips, cobra pose. And child's pose from here. As you exhale, come all the way back. Taking a few moments to breathe and to again feel your body. We have an entire left side to do, so check in. Yoga is not just asanas, yoga is how you treat yourself, kindness, mindfulness. Okay, when you're ready, come up a little bit with your hips, keeping your arms straight. Bring the toes into the tuck position. And you can separate your feet a little bit, Chris, a little wider than the hips. Good. And then downward facing dog. Lift your hips all the way up. Now we're going to stretch the left side, lift the left hip and leg all the way up. Ideally, the left hip stacks over the right. Bend the knee when you're ready and breathe. Great job. Keep your two hands evenly pressing. Now lift your head way up. I want those inner shoulders tall. Yeah. Knee across to right, elbow, shoulders, wrists. Exhale. All the way back to that stretch. Inhale, open, bend, and stretch. Head up. Exhale, knee across. One more time. Inhale, open, bend, stretch. Head up, exhale, and this time you're going to hold. Extend the leg out towards the right. You can set the outer edge of the foot down. Yeah, if you need to, you can always back up the right foot a little bit if you're too far forward with your shoulders. Some of you might choose to stay here in this inclined position. Maybe a few of you going for the deeper twist, bend the elbows into chaturanga position. Come back, straight arms. Turn the right heel, securing it down on the mat. When you're ready, right arm vertical. Breathing as you open your inner shoulders. It's not about rounding the back, so don't mistake opening the shoulders for rounding. The head still needs to come back. Yeah, Chris, open the shoulders and move the head back. Last two. Do both. There you go. One more. Hand down. You're coming back with both hands evenly, pressing. Okay. Turn onto your right toes. Bring the left knee to the chest. Good. And inhale, stretch all the way up, three-legged dog. Now look up and step into a lunge position. So if you need padding, bring it underneath the right knee as the right knee comes down, the toes point. Yes. Grab your blocks, books, or be on your fingertips. Okay. Everything is acceptable. So you're going to make like a cow shape where your ears go back as you inhale. You feel the upper part of your back engage. That doesn't mean shoulder blades pinch together. And as you exhale, the hips move back, the leg straightens, and you flex the toes off the mat. So try to do it with your breath now. As you inhale, you come forward into a little cow stretch. Exhale into Ardha Hanumanasana stretch. Good. Inhale, cow. Very good. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Create as much length and lift in the spine as you can. Now don't round the back. Exhale. So move the hips back. Straight leg. We're going to take this into a little bit of a hold. Very good. So it's not just the head coming down. That's too easy for almost all of you. Bring the lower part of your body, your lumbar, your ribs to your thigh first. Head is last for 2. And 1. Come back into the lunge position. You can ditch the blocks if you're using them or books. Okay, now when you're ready, you're going to come into tabletop position. So the hands are flat. No, with your knees down. There you go. So you're going to do that cow shape where the spine is engaged. Now, understand, so Chris, pinch your shoulder blades into my hand. So this is just shoulder work. This is not actually engaging the spine. So what Chris needs to do is keep the shoulders wide, but without rounding the back. So those are 2 separate things. Does that make sense? So arch the back without the shoulder blades coming together. And now keep that as you lower the chest and chin to the earth. Ashtangasana. Bend the elbows straight back without letting the shoulder blades pinch together all the way. Bring your chest down to the ground without the shoulder blades coming together. Yes, chin forward. Good. All the way onto the ground for cobra. Inhale, slither. Child's pose, exhale, balasana. So take a moment, breathe. Oh my gosh, look. We have a little friend joining us, a little caterpillar. Okay, and now you're gonna come up. We're gonna use the blocks again. Again, if you're at home and you don't have blocks, you can use books, okay? You're gonna set the blocks right as wide as your shoulders by your knees. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of core activation work, okay? So you can have the blocks, the lowest level to the medium level, I think, is the most secure. I wouldn't go on the highest level, it just wouldn't be very stable. Okay, so what Chris is gonna do is he's gonna bring his hips off his heels a little bit so the shoulders are right above the hands. Okay, and he's gonna practice rounding the shoulder blades away from the spine. Very good. And now, what he's gonna try to do without dropping the head down is you're gonna bring one knee all the way up to your chest. All the way up. There you go, good. And you see the origin of the movement is that hip pushing the knee around, so it gives his lumbar as much rounding as his upper back. And he's gonna change legs now. So we want the whole spine to have an equal sense of rounding. The shoulder blades opening and the pelvis curling under. And now see if, Chris, maybe you can do both knees at the same time without bending the elbows. Yes, try to hold for 3. Head up. 2, shoulders wide. And rest down on your knees. Very, very good. Take a second. Compose your breathing. Now you're gonna lift your hips up a little bit and cross one ankle on top of the other, okay? And again, you're going to press into your hands, widen the shoulder blades, keep the head lifted, and now try to bring your knees up towards your chest. And when you do that, try to slide your feet through the blocks and take a seat any way you can between the blocks. Very, very good. Okay, let's set the books or blocks off to the side. Lie down on your back. Take a moment, get elongation through the spine. Now we're going to show a couple of different options. So the first option is going to be placing the hands flat alongside the hips. Okay, that's option 1. You could also take a hold of the mat and practice tearing the mat with your hands, with your serratus muscles. So that will give you a little more connection to the upper body. Okay, or the most challenging option, and maybe not everyone will like this, but a few of you will. You're gonna take the arms overhead. Okay, and you can even hook a thumb if you wanna try to keep, again, the space of the inner shoulders. Now, bend your knees wherever you are. Place your feet flat on the mat. And now you're going to take your legs into a vertical position. Feet are flexed ideally. And on the exhalation, lower one leg and hover as close as you can without losing the feeling of the lifted leg side of the pelvis curling and pushing the leg up. Take another exhalation all the way to the end of the breath. And when you're ready on an inhale, both legs go back to the vertical position. Change legs. As you exhale, lower down. Hold here. Whatever the leg is that's up, it's the whole pelvis starting at the top that curls around and pushes the leg higher. Last exhale, all the way to the end. Leg up. Inhale. Go back to the first leg with your breath. As you exhale, go down. As you inhale, come back up. Change legs. As you exhale, go down. So now you're going with your breath. As you inhale, come up. Last time, exhale all the way down, pause. Come up with your inhale. Exhale all the way down. Come up with your inhale. Now both legs halfway or a quarter of the way down. So mitigate any amount that the back is arching. Okay, see if you can keep the pelvis moving in the same direction as your heels for 3, 2, bend the knees towards your chest. Use your hands now, catch a hold of your lower legs and breathe. Okay. If you don't have space to the sides to take your arms into a T shape, show that, Chris. And then turn the palms facing down. Yeah. So if you don't have the room to do this, show cactus instead. Okay? So I leave it up to you. So Chris, you choose whichever one you liked best. Okay? Now keeping the knees as close to the chest as you can. On the exhale, you're going to bring your knees to the right elbow. Okay? And you're going to, if it's possible, you're going to turn and look towards the left hand. And you're going to breathe here for 3. The whole pelvis is moving the legs away from the left shoulder. 2. Inhale the head and legs back to a center position. Change sides. Exhale, knees, left elbow, gazing to the right. Manifest the knees towards armpit from the sacrum, top of the pelvis. So you're curling the pelvis for 2. 1. Now at tempo with the breath. Head and legs center. Inhale. Knees right, head left, exhale. Inhale, center, Jari, Tari, Parvatanasana. Exhale, knees left, head right. Inhale, center. Exhale, first side. Good job. Inhale, center. Exhale, knees left. Inhale, center, last time. Gazing left, knees right, exhale. Inhale, center, knees to the left, gaze to the right, exhale. Inhale, center, hands behind your head. Exhale, elbows touch knees. 3, 2, hands on knees, release your head and take a few moments and breathe. So this is kind of like a child's pose on your back. Regulate your heartbeat, regulate your breathing. When you're ready, you're going to hold now behind your knees, so between the calf thigh. Okay? And you're going to rock and balance on your sitting bones into either a modified bent knee navasana, okay, like this, or straight leg navasana like this. Okay, bend your knees again, Chris. Show this, but with the arms forward, parallel to the legs. So this is another great option. Or if it's not too much on your lower back, try straightening the legs without holding on. Breathe here for 3, 2. Now bring your feet flat on the ground, knees bent, and you're going to separate your feet a little wider than your hips. Yeah, a little bit wider. Now bring the hands behind you. And I'm going to say you can turn your hands to face lateral to the sides. Now, your hands need to be a little wider than your hips, so just make that estimation. And as you inhale, you're going to bring your hips forward and up into a modified Purvottanasana. Okay, and you can take the head back, hips up a little higher. And now as you exhale, let your hips come down and the head come forward, but you're going to keep the hips hovering and move them back between your hands. Straighten your legs and lift your toes into the flexed position. Okay? See how much you can move your hips back without letting your head go forward too far. Potentially lift one foot up, set it down, second foot up, potentially both feet up, not sure everyone can do that. And then bring the feet down, hips back up, Purvottanasana modification as you inhale. Head back, hips high. Navasana as you exhale. So the legs go up and you're going to take an inhale for 3. Either way, bent, holding, straight, holding, either way. 1, bend your knees, same thing, modified Purvottanasana, so feet a little wider, hands in the lateral position. You lift your hips up. Pull the hips back between your hands as you exhale, straight legs. Maybe lift one foot, you can change. Then the other. And maybe both. Last time, modified Purvottanasana, separate the feet, lift your hips up, head back. Navasana as you exhale. Inhale as you create a tall spine, pushing the legs up out of the hips. And now, whatever you did before, crossing the ankles, switch, bend the knees, and bring the legs in towards you. Yeah. You can use blocks. Maybe Chris will enjoy using blocks. Just a little bit in front of the hips. Yeah, a little bit here. So your hips have already gotten through your hands. Does that make sense? If you put them too far back, you're going to have to pull the hips back much further. Now, Elbows have to stay in. They can't go out to the side. And you're going to straighten the arms and pick your hips up off the ground. Maybe some of you will pick the feet up off the ground. Knees to chest for 3. Head up. 2. Set it down. Rest. Okay, so this is lower belly control, but it's also shoulder strengthening and hip flexor strengthening. If you need to, you keep the feet on the ground. Again, keeping the elbows in. When you're ready, just like you're coming from chaturanga to plank, straighten the arms, come up. And now you try, if you can, to bring the knees to the chest, feet off the floor for 3. Yes, good job. 2 and 1. Release your hips down. Good job. Okay, you can set the blocks, books, whatever you're using off to the side. Keeping your ankles crossed, you're going to rock back. Then you're going to rock forward. Rock back, pick up a little bit of momentum, and try to have a little bit of fun after all of that torture. And now you're going to try to go to chaturanga or plank from here. So you're going to plant your hands down. Next time you get enough momentum, lift your hips up and march or jump however you can get back. It doesn't have to be identical to anyone else. Okay, vinyasa. Very nice work. If you're at home and you need a child's pose, take a child's pose. No worries. Now you're going to look up. Okay, and step your right foot all the way between your hands. Great. Bring your back foot a little closer. So we're going to do pyramid, Parshvottanasana. And again, it doesn't have to be heel to heel, but some of you might enjoy that. Bring your hands to your hips. And you're going to come up to standing. Okay, so we're going to do Paschimo Namaskar, which is reverse prayer. Take the arms parallel like an airplane. And you're going to do what's called internal rotation. So you're going to turn the thumbs down and back as much as you can, as much as you can, as much as you can. Bend the elbows and either bring your 2 fists together or your palms flat together. Whatever is going to serve you most. Put the weight in the back foot. Lift the pelvis up off the front thigh. That's the inhale position. You're filling and lengthening upwards through your spine. And then as you exhale, it's not the head towards the foot, but it's the belly to the thigh first. And some of you might need to bend the knee a little bit. So I ask you to self-regulate and breathe here for 3. Equal weight in both feet. 2. 1, release the hands down. Now again, you can use blocks like Chris and I are going to do, or you can use books or be on your fingertips. Now Chris is going to bend his front knee and he's going to walk the blocks in front of his right foot. Okay, a little bit further. Yeah, there you go. Really stretch those arms out. Now, bringing the weight forward into the right foot, you're coming up like Warrior 3 with the left leg parallel. Let's bend the front leg a little bit still. So keep the lifted leg up though. So notice the tendency when the front leg, if I ask you to bend that front knee, I don't want the back leg dropping. There you go, good. Now straight arms, head up, okay? And maybe some of you stay here. Maybe you can lift the arms forward by your ears, full Virabhadrasana 3 position for 3. There you go. Stretch it way out, 2. Hands to the earth or blocks, and as you exhale, take a little moment. Bring your feet together when you're ready. Okay, just fold over, take a breath. That pose can be quite an intense experience. Hands to your hips when you're ready, and inhale, come all the way up standing. Bring your left knee to your chest like we did before. You can use your hands to give a little bit of encouragement, bringing it in. Now, some of you might be able to take the right hand around to the outside of your foot. Okay? Others are going to have to stay with the right hand on the outside of the knee. Okay, now you're going to start to turn your body towards the left edge of the mat. And when you feel balanced, take the left arm straight back behind you. Maybe some of you are going to begin to straighten. It's not necessary, the left leg. If you have the balance, turn your gaze. Look back towards the left shoulder. It's called Parshvadristi. Last 3. Very good. The left side of the pelvis is pushing the leg forward against the right straight leg. 2. Now turn your body slowly out of the twist. Bring your hands onto your hips. Everybody release the left leg forward to a straight position. Take an inhale. Back into warrior three. As you exhale, bring your hands to the blocks or the earth, maybe fingertips. You can bring the hands down. Take an inhale, you're going halfway up. Standing splits, you don't have to go vertical, but just walk your block or hands towards your standing foot. There you go. Now inhale, look up again. Bend your right knee without dropping the left leg. Yeah. Master that. Let the right hip go down and step all the way back into a lunge. Okay, so now you can keep the left hand underneath the shoulder and take the right arm up into a vertical twist. Both shoulders release down away from your ears, and you turn the body for 3. There you go. 2, and release. Both hands down on the ground. Inhale as you step back into plank. You're welcome to take a vinyasa or straight to down dog as you exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Look up and place your left foot forward for pyramid. The right foot needs to come in a few centimeters. It could be heel to heel or a little wider. You're going to place your hands on your hips. And with a vertical inhale, come all the way up. Taking the arms parallel like an airplane for Paschimottanasana Namaskar. Internally rotate the arms. Bring the hands back behind you. Pressing the weight into the back foot, lifting the pelvis up. As you inhale, create space. It's first the belly to the thigh. The head is the last thing to come down in these forward folds. Bending the front leg is acceptable. Yes, we're here to elongate the spine for 3. Very good. 2, the back heel is helping you to stretch forward. It's anchoring you. Last inhale. Now release your fingertips down to the blocks. Bend your front leg. No, you can keep them forward. That's right. That's right. Turn onto your back toes. Try not to drop your head, my friend. Yeah, that's just rounding your back. And now keep the front knee bent. I know this is a challenge because it's different than how you normally do it. Lift your back leg into warrior 3 and shift the weight forward without straightening the left leg. Exact. So keeping that left hip going down, the right leg going up, and arms straight if it's possible. Breathe here. Maybe the arms begin to lift. You're keeping the left knee bent. I know that's a challenge. So as the left hip goes down, the right leg goes up, and you reach with the side body, crown of the head forward for 3. Good job. 2, hands to the blocks. When you're ready, place your right foot to the front of the mat. Take a moment, gather your composure. On an exhale, let your head relax down. Very good. Bring your hands to your hips. Vertical inhale, come all the way up. So we're going to change legs, balancing on the left leg, right knee, chest. The options for your hands are to take the left hand to the outer knee. Some of you to hold the outside edge of your right foot. Take your time as you feel the balance come online. Turn your body. Open up the right arm, potentially Parshva Dristi, gazing to the right side. The movement is originating from the right sacrum, turning and pushing the leg forward for 3. 2. With control, turning your body to face the front of the mat, hands to the hips, elbows parallel. Push the legs straight forward. And now you're going to come back slowly into warrior 3. Bring your hands to those blocks. Good job. Take an inhale, get length first. Then as you exhale, belly to thigh. Yeah, no banana, no rounding. There you go. Now walk your hands a little closer to the foot. Good job. Now inhale, come back to the halfway position. Now, you feel how high the right leg is? Don't drop it down. Bend your left leg. Don't drop the right leg. Go down. Come on, give me a nice deep chair pose, not bending your elbows. Just the left leg, head up. And step all the way back. Here we're going to take the twist, set up your right hand underneath to support the shoulder, and take your left arm into a vertical position. Good. So from the heel on the right side, anchoring back, you push the crown of the head forward for 2 more. And release the hands evenly, press as you step into plank position, down dog or chaturanga. Inhale, urdhva or cobra, and exhale, adho mukha. Very good. Okay, go ahead and come into a child's pose for a moment. Rest. So with each moment that we take to check in, we can take this information, this feedback, and we use it to practice in a way that is for our highest wellness. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to come up to tabletop position. Okay, now, lifting the inner shoulders up. So yeah, we fill in that space between the shoulder blades, but without rounding the back. So there's still a sense of lengthening. Now you're going to take your right leg back behind you into a floating position, just like Vira 3. And this time you're going to bend the knee so the foot is pointing vertically towards the ceiling. Now, as you inhale, I want the head to come up a little higher. And then as you exhale, I want you to bring your head and knee towards your chest, rounding your back. We're going to go back to that same position. Inhale, knee bent, scorpion. Exhale, knee, chest. One more time, inhale. Exhale, knee, chest, and hold here. So both shoulders away from the ears. Yes. Make your low back higher towards the ceiling, not your middle back. So yes, this higher. Last one. And release. Okay, tabletop position. So these are not as easy as they look if you're doing them correctly. Keeping the shoulder blades broad, lift your left leg parallel. Bend the knee, so now the foot is pointing vertically. Head up as the inhale, head up, foot up. Exhale, knee and head towards chest. You go again as you inhale, mini scorpion. Exhale, knee, head, chest. Last time, inhale, scorpion. Exhale, head and knee, chest. Hold here. So the more rounded the low back is, the better. The less rounded the upper back, the more you're going to feel this engaged. Last breath in, yes. And child's pose is the counter posture. Good job. Good. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to come up and onto your back. So if you want to jump through and sit, you can do that. If you just want to take the legs around to the side. Okay, bend your knees for bridge pose. Separate your feet a little bit apart. And when you're ready, lifting the hips way up. Option 1, you can cross the fingers underneath your pelvis and work slowly the triceps underneath you. Option 2 is take the arms overhead like a handstand and stretch. Okay, so you're separating the hips and the low back in opposite directions, either way. Option 3 is to get a tricep stretch by bending the elbows and placing the hands by your ears. And just again, pulling the center of your body in 2 directions, elbows and knees away from each other for 3, 2, and for a breath or 2, allow the hips to come down and rest. Okay, if you have no pain in the knees, try bringing the feet in a little closer. If there's pain in the knees, you go back to where you were before. Option 1, bridge pose, repeat. Option 2, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Is that okay for you? Okay. Inhale, lift the hips way up. You're going to come to the crown of the head as you exhale. Check in with the hands and elbows remaining parallel. Lifting the hips maximum. Maybe you come up with the head a little bit off the ground and breathe for 5. 4, good. 3, 2, bending the knees, coming down, slowly lifting the head out of the way as your shoulders release. Take a moment and feel what you just did. Yeah. Back bends stimulate us, our adrenaline, stimulate our heartbeat. So we really want to take a moment and feel. So we're not just moving on adrenaline. Okay, so you have one more option for bridge pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana. So you choose. Either rotate your shoulders and place your hands by your ears. Okay. Or take the hands underneath your hips if you're just doing bridge pose. Okay. With an inhale, you're going to lift your hips, come to the crown of the head if you're doing Urdhva Dhanurasana. Make the hips, the effort of the hips lifting be what brings you up off the ground. And you're breathing regardless of the pose for 5. Connect the big toes, outer heels. 4. Baby toes, inner heels. 3. Breathe. 2. Head up and bend the knees, come all the way down. Good. Take a moment, walk your feet a little wider than your hips, let the knees come in towards each other. So basically, this will help to release if you feel anything in your lower back. Maybe you went a little bit too far. Next time you know to back off a little bit. There is a lot of reasons why you feel your lower back when you do Urdhva Dhanurasana. It's not always the lower back. Sometimes it's the limitation of the upper back and shoulders. Your low back is the only place that bends in that case, so it takes it. Now you can walk the feet together. Bring one leg vertical. Okay, and with your 2 hands, or you use a belt on the foot, you can hold the back of the leg in that vertical. So we're releasing the hamstrings, which just worked. This is a counter posture. Now on his next exhalation, he's going to also counterpose the low back by lifting his forehead up. Okay, and if he wants to, he can also reach the hands forward parallel to the earth for 3. Good job. 2. Hold the foot, the leg, whatever you can. Lower your head down. Take an extra breath in. And release. Switch sides. On the next exhale, using the abdominal muscles, come up. Maybe you can take the hands forward. If it's not too much for you, keep the chin a little bit off the chest. There you go. Breathe here for 3. 2. Hold the foot or leg, whatever you can. Release the head down gently. And now both legs up. Use the belt if you have that, or just the hands behind the legs is going to work as well. Okay, now you're going to drop the knees into your chest. Give yourself a little side to side. Rock, rock, rock. Okay, and we're going to take a spinal twist, dropping the knees over to one side, letting the opposite arm do the same thing you did before, either a cactus or taking the arm out. It's both sufficient. The closer the knees are to the armpit, the more you're going to release the lower back. Bring your legs to center. On the exhale, go to the other side. Good. You're controlling the amount of inhale, slowing it down. It's not about taking huge breaths. It's about taking slow breaths, even if they're mini-sized. And then when you're ready, bring the knees to center. You're going to place your left foot on the ground, cross the right ankle over the left knee. Reach between your legs, hold the back of the left thigh, and we're going to do a little modification of pigeon here on the back. Especially if you're at home, you can always pause the video and take it as long as you want into these last stretches. If you have the time to spend, why not spend it connecting, loving your body and treating it well. When you're ready, set the left foot down. Change when you're ready so that you find an even amount on both sides. Reach between your legs, hold the back of the right leg, and breathe. Let go of tension for these next few moments. Close the eyes if you're able to. Release your feet down to the ground. You can take a moment with your feet on the ground to organize your pelvis so you do feel that the sacrum is releasing away from the low back. Sometimes, and I'll show here with Chris, you can prop up your couch cushions or a bolster under your knees and straighten your legs over that. I'm going to move it back just a little bit more. There you go. And then take a moment to find a great position of comfort for your shoulders and arms, taking your shoulders slightly down. When we do this last asana, it's about comfort and relaxation. I want to recommend opening the mouth when you exhale so you're releasing the forced breathing. Take this time for yourself to relax. Beginning to bring your awareness back to your body. When you're ready, moving fingers and toes. Take a stretch in any direction, following intuition, letting your body guide you. If you're using the bolster, you can set your feet on top of the bolster so that it helps your low back to adjust. When you're ready, bring the knees towards your chest. So you give yourself a little hug. You can roll to one side and come all the way up and take a seat. Bringing your hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra, a symbol of giving and of gratitude, giving your time and your precious attention to your own health and well-being. Namaste.